out now. It is going. We are receiving the video.
Outside.
Good afternoon from Mission Control in Houston and the International Space Station Flight Control Room. You are looking live at Expedition 67 Commander Oleg Artemyev of Roscosmos as he is at the hatchway of the Rassvet module of the International Space Station. Just beyond that hatch is the Soyuz MS-22 spacecraft and its 3 new residents for the International Space Station, who arrived at the station and docked to the complex at 12:06 p.m. Central Time today, about 2 hours and 24 minutes ago. Their docking after a flawless rendezvous took place following their launch from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan just after sunset at 8:54 a.m. Central Time, 6:54 p.m. Baikonur time. The vehicle rose to the northeast, arced out over the northeast. All of the ascent performance activities for the Soyuz vehicle were perfect as the vehicle the Soyuz spacecraft itself separated from the third stage of the Soyuz booster about 8 minutes and 45 seconds after launch. Solar arrays and navigational antennas were then deployed, and a pre-programmed series of rendezvous burns were executed by the Soyuz vehicle to fine-tune its path to the International Space Station, with again docking occurring at 12:06 p.m. Central Time, 1:06 p.m. Eastern Time. Once the docking had occurred, there were leak checks at both sides of the docking interface by Soyuz Commander Sergey Prokopyev on the Soyuz side of the docking interface. On the station side, Oleg Artemyev, who you see there, conducted leak checks on his side of the hatchway. And a short time ago, the Rassvet hatch was opened, as you see there. Artemyev is now just simply waiting for a few final procedures to be executed by Prokopyev before he opens the Soyuz hatch, allowing the 3 crew members to float inside and be greeted by their Expedition 67 counterparts. On board the Soyuz, NASA's Frank Rubio, in his first flight into space, and first-time flyer Dmitry Petelin of Roscosmos are awaiting entrance to their new home for the next 6 months. Prokopyev is in the second flight into space in his career, having spent time on the International Space Station several years ago. The trio, once inside, will receive a safety briefing from Artemyev, which is traditional and mandatory for all newcomers to the International Space Station, before the crew members settle down for a meal and move into a deactivation period for Soyuz systems, as well as a pre-sleep period for the other members of the Expedition 67 crew, including NASA astronauts Kjell Lindgren, Bob Hines, and Jessica Watkins of NASA, and Samantha Cristoforetti of the European Space Agency. She will take over command of the station from Artemyev on September 28th, on the eve of the departure of Artemyev, Denis Matveyev, and Sergei Korsakov of Roscosmos, who will board the Soyuz MS-21 spacecraft that is docked to the Prishal node module for their trip back to Earth and a completion of a 185-day mission, that to take place on September 29th.
Alex, we can see that it started tuning. The hatch is open.
The hatch is open. We copy and we're monitoring. We can see that. Okay.
And with that, the hatch has been opened to the Soyuz MS-22 spacecraft at 2:34 p.m. Central Time. Again, hatch opening occurring at 2:34 p.m. Central Time, as the International Space Station flew 258 miles over the South Pacific. We're in a momentary loss of our downlink video capability from the International Space Station. We'll be getting that back momentarily. Again, the hatch was opened at 2:34 p.m. Central Time, 3:34 p.m. Eastern Time.
Like the television video image disappeared in Ku band. It's not the camera, Alec. Nicola, so everybody left their vehicle, I mean the arriving crew. And everybody's very happy. Well, we didn't see that yet, so let's all go to the service module. So, not doing anything here yet, right? No, everything is in the service module. Alec, turn on the 201, let it be operating. Okay, let me just get there. Understood. At 1943, and then we'll be in space to ground 1 already, okay? We'll wait for you in the service module.
And unfortunately, we did not see the crew actually come on board the International Space Station. We had lost our video downlink capability as we handed over satellite capability on our tracking and data relay satellite system. So all three crew members from the Soyuz MS-22 are now inside the International Space Station, and they will press ahead with a safety briefing and other activities that will lead towards the end of their first hours on board the station. Frank Rubio of NASA and Roscosmos cosmonauts Sergey Prokopyev and Dmitry Petelin, now part of the Expedition 67 crew, having floated on board following the opening of the hatch to the Rassvet module and the Soyuz spacecraft, the Soyuz hatch opening occurring at 2:34 p.m. Central Time. So with that, a very brief hatch opening for us today, and that'll wrap up our coverage of the arrival of Rubio, Prokopyev, and Petelin to the International Space Station. We'll send it back now to the Kennedy Space Center in Florida for continuing coverage of the Space Launch System cryogenic tanking test on both the public and the media channels. But for now, that's it. The new 3 crew members on board the International Space Station following a flawless launch and rendezvous and docking to the International Outpost. This is Mission Control, Houston.